से मेरा हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनकम,
नमस्कारा,
खुशामदीद,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
మీకు అందరికి వందనము,
जय स्वामीनारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय जिनेंद्र।
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोल दे याली मदद।
मलाली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी बंदों को बोल के नीसा बोला बटजान हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे myself फालतू बा।
And of course myself फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's going to make another wonderful day totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बंदू जाने।
To the Bhajan, of course, this is the 389th day of our sheltering in place. I hope by the time we reach 400, we are all out of the whole thing, Falguni. I think that should be a landmark. We should work towards that. 400 days sheltering plus खत्म हो गया. COVID virus को ऐसे मार गिरा दो and just get back to a different new normal of life, which is going to be more mindful and living a very sustainable life, Parajan. Very important. Because right now, I think what happened was we're not leading a sustainable life. We required this COVID to hit us really hard in the face and say, you know what, you guys are doing everything wrong. Right? It was actually a slap on our humanity's face, and you know what? Just don't think that you can conquer everything, because nature can mess with your whole system, Bhajan. Anyway, Bhajan, that's a different message I took from COVID sheltering in place and everything, Bhajan. This 1 year has been a lesson for everybody to learn. Some of us have lost loved ones. Some of us have lost time. It's been very hard for many people, but overall, if you look at it, there's a lesson for everybody to learn in this particular situation, Bhajan. But right now, let me tell you what's happening on the roads. Raste ka haal, aap hum log total saste mein.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Bhajan. The COVID situation is still on the roads. The volume of traffic on the roads has increased considerably compared to what it was when we first went into the sheltering in place almost a year ago, Bhajan. But of course, not as much as heavy as what it was pre-COVID situation. That's right. So we have been keeping track of all this, Banjan, because we are radio. We've been in the industry for 12 years now. We're keeping data on all these things, and that's what we realized when you compare the data. It is really a huge difference and dip in actually the number of traffic vehicles on the roads. Actually a drop down, right?
Yeah.
But one thing good about the whole thing is the fact that you actually, the number of incidents on the roads also have reduced because the volume of traffic has dropped. Not to that considerable level, but hell, it can be. There's an accident on 880 southbound at the Hesperian Boulevard channels in the off-ramp is blocked over there. Doesn't seem to be affecting much of the traffic, but yes, the off-ramp head, of course, getting onto that particular freeway of 880 is a little bit congested in that region. Probably you're better off taking another alternative route if you can. It's not near the bridge, not stuck on the bridge and everything. Bridge is fine. There's no wind advisory and everything over there, so that's a good news for everybody out there. Weather-wise, if you look at it, it's awesome. We are going to be pretty much, it's night now, might be a little bit cold. We might feel like the upper 50s. It'll go up right now, Bhajan, go to mid-70s. But by the time it gets to mid-70s, it's going to be a little bit cloudy also for us, so we will not feel much of the heat actually. But I think by afternoon you'll start seeing the sun actually glaring at us literally big time. Nice sunny days, and guess what, the whole week is going to be nice and sunny. So if you want to crank out those spring shorts, or what do you call that, the summer shorts of yours, and start wearing light khaki or linen clothing, go ahead, do it.
I am already in my shorts.
Yeah, I was inspired to tell that to people because I saw you, Faltari.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bhajan, right now you can't see that because we only have until the bus shot over here right now on our screens. Good thing, and we don't have the full length thing. But probably we'll have that going forward, because I'll have Faltari do the weather for us, and also news standing over there somewhere in the studio.
What?
We'll set up the whole thing for her, so that'll be nice.
What?
It's good for you to stand up and do things, right? You can actually give the news standing up, like like how they do those, those
Are
exercise
you
things.
mocking me, Altubaba?
I'm not marking you, because I've seen you work on the Pragna sessions, and you actually stand up and do a lot of stuff. So I just thought I can get you doing that way also.
Yes, that'd be great.
The
yes.
news in motion, we'll call it.
The news. Eh?
Yeah, why? No, I didn't say
Okay.
lose in motion. I said news in motion. My
Yeah,
God.
Alter.
What goes on in your mind, Fatari? Well, Bhajan, before we do that, let's do it. Fatari, how about we give us some headlines of what's happening in America and around local area here right now? What do you
Sure.
think? And of course, Bhajan, this is the news updates for you guys. If at all you want to catch up in detail about this, you can go check out the news blog, mediamahima.com. लेकिन अभी के लिए ये है आपके लिए आज का local and national news.
A judge denies bids to sequester Chauvin jury after the police shooting. Biden faces growing Republican skepticism over the infrastructure plan that he has suggested. Biden administration drops plans to for police oversight, citing the George Floyd bill. Biden is going to be nominating Trump critics to lead the border and immigration policy task force. U.S. House Ethics Panel launches an investigation into Republican Matt Gaetz. And of course, Bandajan, in news from Wall Street, Biden's agencies reverse Trump's Wall Street friendly rules. And police kill a black man in a Minneapolis suburb, sparking protests near the Chauvin trial. And in local news from the Bay Area, Bandajan, San Francisco Unified School District may be reopening some campuses today. Vaccination appointments are available for 16 and older or Alameda County residents. And also, more California counties expand vaccine eligibility to people 16 and up.
Wow, wonderful, great news out there, Banjan. और आएगा न्यूज़ आपके लेके उससे पहले why don't we just go check out what I have for your lineup today, Banjan. It's the Gaana Ka Keeda from the movie Lucknow Central. Movie did not do very well. Actually, movie was nice. I saw the movie. It was actually pretty much like The Great Escapes kind of a level of mystery and suspense. Very nice done, but nicely done. Thriller and suspense actually. And yes, this song is again by Brijesh Shandilia, Arman Hassan and Vayu, along with Bagchi voicing in Banjan. Music by Tarish Bagchi and lyrics by Kumar.
टाइम ना बर्बाद कर थॉमस एडिसन की थ्योरी को याद कर बल्ब जगा दिमाग का टाइम ना बर्बाद कर ये फार्मूला भाई करता जा तू ट्राई ये फार्मूला भाई करता जा तू ट्राई बी पॉजिटिव टूटे दिल के पुर्जे पुर्जे जोड़ के पुर्जे पुर्जे जोड़ के पुर्जे पुर्जे जोड़ के फिकर भुला के डांस कर बाकी रप्पे छोड़ दे
That's right, Banjan. Fikar बुला के आप तो डांस करो Banjan. Music लगाओ, डांस करो. अगर आपके पास music नहीं तो don't worry, just go to our app, download the app, and you actually can get all the music that you want non-stop for continuously. Banjan 24/7 आपके लिए आएगा. साथ में हमारा live show जब भी होती है तो you can listen to it and enjoy as well. लेकिन फालतू नहीं, I'll tell you what, Farhan Akhtar का one thing I want to tell you, Father, we have been following Bollywood cinema for the past 100 years. Mm-hmm. Not like we were not born 100 years ago, but I'm talking about back. We have followed the history of Indian cinema. If you look at the Indian cinema, leading ladies and leading dudes, right?
Uh-huh.
Right now, if you think that they are the people who people try to idealize, right, and try to lead a life like them, right? I think we are heading towards a very healthy kind of environment.
Because everybody is like losing weight and being very healthy.
Yeah, all the heroes are chiseling up, man, literally.
Yeah, okay, good.
For instance, Farhan Akhtar's movie, right? Farhan Akhtar right now is coming up with a movie called Tufan. I don't know if you've seen the promos of this Banjan. Oh my God. Yeah, he really is. He's playing the role of a boxer, I suppose. And literally, well, you can say, what's news about Farhan Akhtar? Farhan Akhtar is always healthy, right? Farhan Akhtar is also healthy. He did a movie of Milka Singh also, where he actually had to lose a lot of weight and show off his muscles and everything. But he still has maintained himself. And Tufan is one movie you got to watch out for sure. But today is not a show about that. Today is about the news, Banjan. So let's go back and ask Fazlani, can you give us the news in detail, please? Was that yes or no?
Yes, Altaba.
Go ahead, Faltani.
From the Radio Dihari studios right here in the Silicon Valley. These are the news in detail live right here on your favorite morning drive. Good morning, babe. The judge in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis policeman charged with George Floyd's deadly arrest last May, denied a defense request on Monday to sequester jurors after the police in a neighboring city fatally shot a black man. Testimony resumed in the murder trial as the prosecution called an expert in cardiology to testify that Floyd died as a result of the restraint used on him by police rather than a drug overdose, suggested by the defense. Prosecutors are nearing the end of their case to the jury. What was that shooting that exactly happened? A police officer in a Minneapolis suburb fatally shot a young black man during a traffic stop for what his mother said was air fresheners dangling from his rearview mirror, sparkling protests that spilled into Monday morning. The shooting and subsequent arrest of in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, came hours after the resumption of the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former white Minneapolis police officer charged with murdering George Floyd. The trial began its 11th day on Monday in a courtroom less than 10 miles away from the incident. The Brooklyn Center Police Department said that it would hold a briefing at 11 a.m. on the shooting. Relatives and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz identified the man killed by police as Daunte Wright, who was 20 years old. Walz said in a statement on Sunday that he was monitoring the unrest as, quote, "Our state mourns another life of a black man taken by law enforcement." Wright's mother, Katie Wright, told reporters that she had received a call from her son on Sunday afternoon telling her that the police had pulled him over for having air fresheners dangling from his rearview mirror, which is supposedly illegal in Minnesota. She could hear the police telling her son to get out of the vehicle, she said. "I heard scuffling and I heard police officers say, 'Daunte, don't run,'" she said through tears, and the call ended. When she dialed his number again, his girlfriend answered and said that he was dead in the driver's seat. In a statement, Brooklyn Center Police said officers pulled over a man for a traffic violation just before 2 p.m. and found that he had an outstanding arrest warrant. As police tried to arrest him, he got back in the car. One officer shot the man, who was not identified in the statement. The man drove several blocks before striking another vehicle and dying at the scene. More on this you will get right here on Good Morning Bay as and when the story unfolds, Banjan. And let's go over to see what President Biden is doing. President Joe Biden may come under intense pressure on Monday to prove his much touted interest in working with Republicans in Congress as lawmakers return from their spring break to grapple with his $2.3 trillion proposal to improve U.S. infrastructure. The Democratic president appears to be losing political capital, with 10 Senate Republicans who have signaled an openness to working with Democrats, including Susan Collins and Mitt Romney, whose support could give him the votes to pass bipartisan legislation. Biden's party narrowly controls the House of Reps and the Senate, meaning he can ill afford to lose Democratic votes. That has emboldened Democratic moderates such as Senator Joe Manchin, who have outsized influence over his legislative priorities. Biden, who was in the Senate for 36 years, has repeated his stated desire to collaborate with the Republicans. He is scheduled to host the Republicans and Democrats from both chambers at the White House at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time today to discuss a way forward on the infrastructure plan. Biden administration drops plans for police oversight, citing the George Floyd bill. They are backing away from a campaign pledge to swiftly create a U.S. Police Oversight Commission, a White House aide said, concluding that the legislation would better address officers using excessive force. Susan Rice, Biden's domestic policy advisor, said in a statement that the administration believed that a commission would not be the most effective way to deliver on our top priority in this area right now. The priority is signing a bill that passed the House of Reps in March, banning officers from using chokeholds and entering suspects' homes without knocking, Rice said in response to questions about progress on police reforms. That bill, the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, is unlikely to win the 60 Senate votes that it needs. Republicans oppose provisions in the bill eroding, quote, qualified immunity, unquote, protections afforded to police officers in legal cases. President Joe Biden is looking to nominate two critics of the former President Donald Trump's immigration policies to key positions in his administration, a White House official said on Monday, signaling a continued push to ease Trump's restrictions on immigrations. Biden will tap Chris Magnus, the chief of police in Tucson, Arizona, to lead U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the agency charged with border security and facilitating legal trade and travel, the official said. Biden will nominate U.R. Jadoo as the Director of Citizenship and Immigration Services, that is the USCIS, which handles immigration paperwork and processing. The Democratic president has reversed many of his Republican predecessors' immigration policies. U.S. House Ethics Panel is going to be launching an investigation into Republican Gates. The Democratic-controlled U.S. House of Reps Ethics Committee said on Friday that it has opened an investigation into Republican Congressman Matt Gates involving allegations including possible sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. The panel's Democratic chairman, and top Republicans said in a joint statement that they had become aware of public allegations that Gates, one of former President Donald Trump's most prominent supporters in Congress, may have violated, quote, House rules, laws, and other standards of conduct. And over the weekend, a news item broke that Trump is avoiding calls from Matt Gates, who has even avoided taking a meeting with him because Gates is reaching out to him for support. Also, Biden's agencies are reversing Trump Wall Street friendly rules. US President Joe Biden's interim regulators are wasting no time unraveling Wall Street friendly measures introduced under former Republican Donald Trump using quick fix legal tactics. They have spiked or stalled more than a dozen contentious Trump era measures that critics said eroded consumer protections, weakened enforcement, and curbed investors' ability to push for environmental, social governance changes, is what is coming out as news today, Banujam. And also in news from the Bay Area, San Francisco Unified School District announced on Saturday that there are going to be multiple early education elementary and county school sites are reopening today for in-person learning. Superintendent Vincent Matthews and 11 early education preschool sites, 20 elementary schools, and 3 county schools will open their doors today. Vaccination appointments are now available for people, residents who are 16 and older in Alameda County, and for those who work in the county in sectors considered to be at increased risk of exposure. And also in other counties, like many other counties in California, are now available, offering the vaccine eligibility for people who are 16 and up. In fact, California public health officials warned on Thursday of decreases in supply because of a national reduction of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine in coming weeks. The state has so far received about 2.4 million doses. So those were the news in detail from across the United States and here in the San Francisco Bay Area as well. Manujan, if you're in Santa Clara County, even you can book vaccine appointments ahead of the expansion for people who are 16 and up.
And of course, that was the news for you guys, and that brings us to the close of today's Good Morning Bay right now. Manujans, we're going to go into our Ganika Kira for you guys. Faltwani, any going away question, any comments, or any going away in breaking news?
Nothing. There's some news about China's Jack Ma, Altubaba, that just came out, which is that China is taking over more and more of his assets.
Where is he though?
Where is he? Nobody knows. China is extending a crackdown on his empire with an enforced revamp of the Ant Group. And also, Russian prison is now threatening to force feed Alexei Navalny, apparently, because he's on a hunger strike.
I hope they were able to get that duplicate ready. Otherwise, I think he'll succumb to it.
Altubaba.
What? That's my ABCT of that right now.
Whatever, you never make the ABCT. Let's not even talk about that.
Yeah.
But Abhi, for the benefit of all the bandhus who are concerned about Akshay Kumar, he's back home safe after testing negative for COVID-19. And the Election Commission in India has banned Mamata Banerjee from campaigning for 24 hours. And she says, I wish it in Dharna. That's what she says. Well, those are the news headlines from India as well, Barjan. If you want to get more information, you can go to MediaMahima.com or tune in to our Good Morning Bay right here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But we'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show with another magnificent Monday Pam Pam edition. Tab tak ke liye, have yourselves a phenomenal, marvelous Monday.
सीधी सी बात है ना दिल को कंफ्यूज कर देता हूँ सजेशन मत